All right, let's get started. I have special guest Ashley Santiago back in the building. For those of the people who don't know you, give us a little about who are you?
So I am Ashley Santiago. I have been working in the world of spirituality for quite a long time now, and I had started um, not knowing that I was doing shadow work for other people. And basically, people would talk to me, and I would just be able to see what was underneath their words and their tone
Mm,
of voice, and how exactly they were attracting certain situations towards them. And naturally, I would just kind of get these downloads and help them get through it. And then when I actually learned about shadow work, I was like, oh shit, that's what I've been doing. And
right,
so now I've made it an actual practice where I can book sessions and help people with individual situations.
right. What's your official title that you're going by?
I don't know if I really have one. I feel like I just say like a spiritual guide.
Right, right. I kind of hate it too because it's like you have to pick something, and it's like, but I have so much. Why do I have to
That's what
choose?
it is. It's like because it's not just shadow work that I do. I
Right,
teach people how to have more positive energy. I teach them how to change their mindset. It's like just literally a life overhaul. So,
right, right. On all levels. I
yeah.
think also people think spirituality, they forget it ties into your everyday life.
Yeah, it's not like a religious thing. It's just about your lifestyle.
Right. It's like this whole balance and happiness and and living. And it's like, no, it's not a religion, it's not a cult, I swear. Um, so let's crack open shadow work because I talk about this kind of with everyone. We kind of talk about it a little bit, but I want to go a little bit deeper today because when we hear that, when someone says you need shadow work, and a lot of people don't fucking explain, like how many people, I mean, even
I
me,
know.
there was a time where I didn't explain shit to people. I was just like, hey, you need to heal. Like, go figure it the fuck
Exactly.
out.
Exactly. And
Like what people,
there's so many different ways to heal.
right.
And shadow work, it's interesting because shadow work isn't actually the specific way to heal. That's the
Hmm.
broad term of self-healing.
Right.
But within that, there's different things you can do. And I had mentioned to you, I practiced on myself the other day doing something called parts work, which is
Mm,
really interesting. And I'll explain more about that later. But yeah, so shadow work is basically just self-awareness
right.
and looking inward to see where these outer issues are actually coming from.
Right. Yeah, I feel I really do think there's a lot of spiritual people out that just don't, you get to a point and you forget the terms that people don't know, right? You're like saying all these terms, and people are like, what the fuck is this? And a lot of people are very scared to ask questions. They're like, okay, shadow work, I'll go look at that. But if you go and Google that shit, it's like all the wrong stuff you're going to come across first, right?
Right.
So if someone's going, okay, someone told me I need shadow work, then what? What do I do?
So that is a hard question because like you said, if you go on Google, you're going to find a million different a million different things, but honestly, it is good to start there. What
Right.
you're going to do is you're going to type it in on any platform that you're on and see what you get and see what resonates with you
Right.
because it's going to be different for everyone based on what's going to resonate with them.
Right.
So I would recommend that. And you'll learn throughout that process that there's a general definition that you're going to get everywhere you go, which is basically your shadow is a part of yourself that you suppressed. So whether it was like, you were a really talkative kid and your parents kept telling you that's annoying,
Mm,
it's annoying, just stop, just stop. Like that's a part of yourself that is now going to be suppressed. Maybe you're quiet and when you see really talkative people, you don't like them, but you don't know where it's coming from. It's a judgment and you're
right.
like, you know what? Why does that really irk me? And in
Right.
reality, it's because you're not getting to express yourself the way you want to.
Mm,
So that's going to be the biggest thing to look at, your judgments of other people, your projections onto other people, which would be something like, if everybody you run into, you're like, oh wow, they seem really selfish. Not just one or two people, but a lot of people. If you're noticing
Right.
patterns, then you're projecting something onto other people. And the reason you're seeing it is because you're aware of it. And you're aware of
Mm,
it because you're familiar with it. It's got to be
right.
something going on. And also, just to touch on that part, just because you see it in someone else doesn't necessarily mean it's something that you do. It could be something that you want to do.
Right. Right. Right.
So, if we did go back to like the people who are really talkative, maybe you're not that way and you're like, oh, well, I'm not like them. So why does it bother me? But it's because
Right.
it's just a way that you're not able to express yourself, but you want to.
Right. Right. Do you think people miss this in teaching or talking about shadow work, like this part of letting them know like it's not this bad thing, or you're not just trying to hunt the shadow down and kill the shadow. And you know what I mean? Like I think people walk into shadow work like you gotta annihilate the shadow and all of this stuff. And it's like, wait, what? Where's the love?
Yeah. So it's interesting that you said that, because I just posted a video on my TikTok and Instagram about this like yesterday. And I said, what you don't want to do is suppress it even more. You don't want to look
Right,
at something and be like, oh, wow, I don't like that part of myself. Let me get rid of it.
right,
The point of shadow work is to shed light on it, is to invite it in, sit down with it, and be like, how can I help you? Why
right,
are you doing this? Explain to me what you need, and then for you to meet that need within yourself.
right.
So it's not, yeah, I think people do go into it like, oh my God, there's all these bad parts of myself. They're not bad parts of yourself. They
Right,
are parts of yourself that were scared. They felt unworthy. They felt like they weren't going to
right,
be loved. They're fearful. So what you have to do is basically help them come to peace and um, just know that they're loved and accepted, and just the fact that just because some people don't accept that doesn't mean it's not okay. You're going to find your own tribe, you
your
know?
own crew.
The most important thing, I don't know if you're familiar with Teal Swan. I
Mm-mm.
really, really love Teal Swan. I watch all of her videos. And something that she has said a lot that really resonated with me was that the word enlightenment is going to become replaced with authenticity.
Right,
So, yeah, so like the point, people are looking for enlightenment, but really what it is to be authentic, be your
right,
true authentic self, and not care if people fall out of your path, because you know
right,
that you're just attracting more people that will be in alignment with your path.
right,
And I really
right.
liked that.
It's true though, because in the beginning, and I always talk about the spiritual egotist, right? We all were there, even myself. I've been there where it's like I'm more enlightened than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know more than you, and you bitches are asleep. Wake the fuck up, right?
I think I'm
And
still kind of in that. I see people sometimes and I'm like, oh man, stop
but
it.
there are some pet peeves still around it, but I, for the most part, bring it back. Like, I can't expect people to be where I'm at. We're all on these different levels, right? And so I've tried to bring myself back. Like, okay, everybody, there's some people that I believe are not meant to wake up in this lifetime. I feel like they're meant to be whoever they are. And so that is something that I did have to work on,
Mhm.
um, because I was, like, trying to awaken everyone. You know, you wake up and you're
Yeah,
trying to, like, get everyone in the family, and you want everybody that you know, your friends, and you want everybody to be fucking doing this, and a lot of people are looking at you like, "Yeah, that's your thing. You
yeah,
stay over there with your meditation."
exactly. And I found that the key to that is to just do you, and let the people who like what they're seeing ask you about it. And if they don't, they're going to fall away, and it is what it is,
Right.
unfortunately.
I think that's a part of it, the layers, right? The layers of
Yeah.
what comes up because, working through family and friends, I think for me, just realizing that I was still wanting validation from my people on some level. I was the kid that was slow. I would have been deemed ADHD or autistic or some shit as a child because I was there but not there. My mind was always way somewhere else. And I didn't
Yeah.
give a shit about class. Like I didn't care anything about what they were saying. But if you put paints or drawings or something in front of me, oh, I was like all into finger painting and shit because I was a very feel touch in
Yeah.
the mud, you know what I mean, making mud pie girl, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
outside and in but you put me in the regular class and it was just like I wasn't there. So, I was still trying to seek this validation of who am I? I'm this
Right.
person now. I'm me. You know what I mean? I'm like self-employed now. I'm doing this. And it's like, where's my kudos? People, where are my kudos?
I know. That is hard, and I honestly can't even speak like I haven't totally like I've totally gotten past that. Because
Right.
while, when I meet strangers, I'm completely myself and I don't care. There's people that I've already been close to that already have an impression of me, and I
Right.
do find myself trying to change, let them know that I've changed. And I'm always
Mm,
asking myself, like, well, why do I care? They don't need to know. They don't need to know. But it
right.
is very hard. And that's actually current shadow work that I'm doing now. So even the people who teach shadow work have their own shadow work to do. It's always going to be constant, because even when
Right.
you overcome childhood traumas, then you're going to realize, oh wait, I remember when I was 21 and I fucked up with this situation, and now you got to go back.
Right.
So as you grow, there's going to be more and more things, but life is never coming to like this end where you've accomplished everything. Then there would be no point. It's just always about self
Right.
development.
Right, right. I think that's what most people want a quick fix. It's like if I'm not cured today, I don't want to do it. And it's like, wait, what? But I remember being in that space, not wanting to deal. Not, and I think a lot of people are scared of shadow work because you actually have to take accountability. I don't think
Right.
you can do shadow work without stepping into the seat of being accountable for your own actions and what you've allowed or taken, and not necessarily as a child, because as a child, there's a lot of stuff that's just done to us or around us.
Right.
But as an adult, it's still your responsibility. Like you have to be accountable for that, right?